Hey there, folks. My name is Kern. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I am giving a sort of update when it comes to responses to my video from last week entitled The Great Blizzard Bank Heist. I want to say that while I was inundated with comments, mostly of people sharing their losses or commiserating with those of us who have, it's been pretty quiet out there. Blizzard hasn't said anything. Most news sites, news channels on YouTube have not said anything. I will give credit to Blizzard Watch. They did a short 5-minute segment in their latest hour-ish long podcast. So props to Blizzard Watch. And that's basically it. There's some threads on Reddit. I don't really use Reddit, so whatever. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet. So I'm here to say that there hasn't been much of an update. I haven't had anything else restored to me. Most of the people whose comments I've read haven't had anything substantial or of real value restored to them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you some of those comments. I'm going to share them on the screen and I'm going to read them, or at least parts of them. Not all 150 plus comments. I think it's actually closer to 200. I've lost count, but I've responded to basically every single one of them, even the mean ones, of which there were a couple. So the first one I want to start reading is this one by Memorize 8020. I lost about 2 million gold's worth of pets, BOE gear, and some removed items I've picked up over the years myself. I'm not too concerned about those since I can still get the pets, but what hurt the most was that my entire collection of plain letters that I had saved throughout my entire playing time is now completely gone. It seems like a small thing, but a bunch of those letters were sent by people who no longer play, and some who have since passed away. I had an entire guild bank tab just dedicated to letters that are now gone forever. The only things that were restored to me were 2 Nat Pagel's Guides to Extreme Angling. I want you to take a second and think about that. If you were friends with somebody in your guild and, you played together daily or weekly or what have you, and you developed a friendship, and then that person stopped playing and you didn't have any real life contact information for them, wouldn't you want to hold on to that? And even more so, what if you were really close to someone and God forbid they passed away? Certainly that would be something that you would want to hang on to. I've been in the unfortunate situation where a friend of mine died at a really young age, and I hang on to everything that I ever got from her, from a signature in my yearbook that year to a hat she gave me for a birthday. And I don't see this as being that much different. This is not a physical memento, but a digital memento that was taken from Memorize. So I'm really sorry for your loss in many senses of the word. And I hope that people will think about the different ways that we use this storage, the different ways that we organize our digital lives. And I hope that people will have a better understanding why some people really are super upset and have every right to be. All right, the next one is by Red Scouse 8568. I've been playing WoW since launch. My guild bank was cleared of all 7 tabs. Not had anything returned. Have canceled my subscription, which is due in December. Will not renew it if there is no satisfactory outcome to this. Was enjoying the war within, but this has put a huge dampener on that, and I and can't be bothered to log in most days. The noise being made by the WoW streaming community about this is deafening. Something is not right, and it stinks. And by deafening, Red Scouse means it's been quiet. No big streamers are apparently talking about this. I don't really follow streamers. I don't have the time. I'd rather play the game myself. So I don't really know what the streamers are up to. But if they're not experiencing this, I mean, good for them. But surely they know about this, don't they? And what about the news sites? I mean, I personally emailed 3 separate big WoW sites this past week, and the only one that mentioned it was Blizzard Watch. And I don't know if they planned to do it before I wrote to them, or they just didn't mention that I'm the one who brought it to their attention, or what have you. But no one else has done any kind of story on it. So we'll see if others chime in or not. But I would have to agree with Red Scouts that this is deafening. And, of course, I'm sorry that you've lost so many things. 7 tabs worth is egregious. All right, Science Box 3 says, I lost all 7 guild bank tabs almost completely full of stuff I've been saving since vanilla. Memories and letters from other players and friends. Yeah, I was the only person in the guild. 1 character, nothing returned in mail. Thank you for making this video. And thank you, Science Box, for leaving your comment and sharing your story with me, with us. Again, those personal letters from people. I have a whole bunch of personal letters. They're in my personal bank on this tune, but I have them. And it would be heartbreaking to lose. I've got to go through and screenshot them for sure. So that if this happens again in some fashion, which who knows, it might, at least I have a digital copy of the digital thing. So yeah, Science Box, I'm sorry. And thank you again. All right, this is a rough one. Wendy Keller, 3059. The US bug forum post has been closed, so I guess we got our non-answer about whether anything else was coming in the mail or if any official word was coming there ever. They've continued with the non-communication. Now, as a group, we were pushed to the general forum. Not even supporting each other away from the trolling of the general forum was acceptable. That post had 38.3k views, 14k likes, 633 users, and 2,610 posts. The official resolution was never posted there by Blizzard or Microsoft. It was copied by users who still thought this company might have any decency to address us directly in the place we were all told to go and wait. No one, to my knowledge, received any mounts, gold, pets, toys, or armor or weapons that were not crafted. Very few received anything other than a couple quest starting items that had all charges drained, or a couple partial stacks of mats. No one has received any player notes or other now unobtainable items back. That's rough. And this person clearly has spent more time in the forums than I have. I don't know about you. I tend to avoid the Blizzard forums at all costs because people. But this person clearly has been reading and keeping up to date on things. And of the 633 probably plus now users who have chimed in on things, no one has received anything of value back. And what's that about? You know? Is it oh, okay. I'll come back to this later in the video. but I will touch on the whole backup thing. We'll come back to that. Thank you for your comment, Wendy, and I'm sorry that you were affected by this as well. Lady L 808 says, original loss was noticed on August 16th, but more was taken on August 20th, reset day. I did take screenshots on August 16th, 20th, and 24th. Today, September 20th, I got a whopping 14 items refunded. I am understandably pissy with the sorry for your loss attitude from Blizzard. Now the guild bank is useless. No one trusts that Blizzard McBurglar won't rob us again. By the way, the refunded items were not the items missing from 816 to 820. Come on, Blizz, do better and compensate us for your massive F up. I'm really sorry that you were affected, that it seems like there were multiple points during this period of time in which your stuff vanished. There are other comments in the thread for the last video where people are talking about how they watched it vanish. And I'm just like, what is going on? How could they not restore stuff? We'll come back to that. So thank you, Lady L. I appreciate your comment. Unverified Lies says, this is the first video I've seen of anyone talking about this, which is insane to me. I lost 7 full tabs of crafting mats and items no longer obtainable. I got the email on my guild leader of items restored and got 447 Warlords of Draenor plants and 7 Dragonflight herbs. I've lost millions of gold worth of items. What's worse to me is that the logs clearly show way more items deposited than what I got mailed. And it's true. It's true. Like, if I look at my log here, you can see that I deposit a whole bunch of two-handed weapons, superior impact, but like I'm scrolled up. These were never withdrawn. They no longer exist. Same with my thorium shield spike, Shadow Crescent axe, thorium belt, heavy felsteel ring, bracers of havoc. You know, they didn't even give me what is visible in the log. So yes, Unverified Lies, thank you for your comment. I'm sorry that you lost so much stuff and that's all you got back in return. You're not alone. Next up is Liliana M3Z, or Z for the Americans. Thank you for bringing more critical light to this. So far, the news has been incredibly vague and misleading. If you didn't interact much with guild banks and you read, quote, some guilds lost some items, but there's going to be a partial restoration, end quote, you would not have an accurate picture of what's been robbed from many of us. I had a meticulously organized guild bank, and like you, I was the only player with access. I lost about 60% of the contents and got nothing back in the pathetic so-called restoration. But I don't think I'm missing out because watching the forums, I haven't seen one person report they got anything substantial returned, just a handful of very minor items. Players need to be way more critical of this because it's allegedly unrestorable data loss. That means we can assume nothing in WoW is safe, even if when things go wrong, all we get is too bad, so sad. Yep, I feel that way too, Liliana. And yeah, if you were to just take that phrase from Blizzard's post, saying some guilds lost some items, but there's going to be a partial restoration, you would think some guilds would get a partial restoration and the rest of the guilds would get a full restoration. In fact, what it seems like, it's that some guilds will get a partial restoration and some guilds will get absolutely nothing. So, fool on me, I guess, for being optimistic and having trust in this company. Thank you, Liliana, and I hope we can get some kind of resolution to this. Cujo the Man says, what pisses me off about this whole situation is they keep backups of everything in the event of something like this happening. It's how the item restoration system works. There's absolutely zero reason they couldn't restore everything to a previous save point. Sure, you might have lost a couple things from a few days prior, but you would most likely have most of everything restored. And no one is going to tell me they don't do that. Then go and restore a deleted character you haven't had for years and tell me that again. They can do it, they just don't want to. This ties into what I want to say at the end of this video about backups and stuff. But yes, Cujo the Man, totally agree with you. And I think that doing just a bulk restore of everything that was in the bank like a day before this happened would be ideal. That's what I would want out of this. All right, this one's a bit long. I'm not going to read all of it, but here we go. From Goddess Palace Athena. Thank you for your voice going out to the public. One of the most important points you made is everything is data, everything is pixels. And maybe they think we're crazy for having old stuff in our own personal guild bank. But yeah, if they lost very rare mounts, titles, and achievements no longer available, what if they had the Immortal? Can't get that on retail anymore. So anything that you care about can be taken away. And unless you're a high-profile player, world first race guild, streamer, major content creator, you will most likely be SOL. There are plenty of people out in the community who might think we are blowing this out of proportion, but if it's something they care about, they might change their tune. Also, many of the people who were hit were some of the most loyal, longtime players. That's why we had so much. Expansions and expansions worth of stuff. And we are the very people they seem to care the least about. Aside from the gold value and stuff, it's the feeling of emptiness when you look at the bank and the ineptitude, thoughtlessness, and betrayal of Blizzard Entertainment towards many loyal customers. I lost probably over 95% on what I consider to be my main bank tune. I've been playing for almost 18 years. This one held mostly cloth, enchanting mats, elemental mats, and misc mats from vanilla through Shadowlands. I hadn't cleaned out my personal reagent bank of Dragonflight stuff. I also had 2 tabs of recipes. My main tune that I play is Tailor Enchanter, so this stuff was very meaningful to me. This was my hardest hit bank. My active guild, the one with people in it, lost probably between 40 to 50%. And other banks, anywhere from nothing, thank goodness my pet bank didn't get hit, to about 60%. I feel like they punched me in the gut. Yep. You lost a lot more than I did. And I can only imagine how you must feel. And I'm really sorry. And I really hope that Blizzard will pay some more attention. If we can make them understand why this sucks so much, maybe we have a chance of reversing their decision. So thank you so much for your comment. And I'm really sorry for everything you've lost. And yes, thankfully, they didn't hit your pet bank. All right, last one. Bit of humor. S. Grovetown 4777 says, I had thought someone had robbed me. Tons of pets and such all gone. I'll keep an eye out, but I had already figured I was SOL. And Aviktaz says, someone did rob you. Blizzard. Which literally made me laugh out loud. And so I had to include this. And thanks to Aviktaz for the chuckle and Grovetown 4777. I'm really sorry. We probably are all SOL, but hopefully not. That's sort of what I'm trying to get at with these videos. All right, so that's enough of the comments. If you want to see the other comments, they're right there on YouTube. I did want to talk about the restoration stuff. They say that due to a technical error, one of their maintenance things messed up and deleted a whole bunch of stuff. So I can understand if this isn't like your typical, oops, I deleted this item, let me go find it on the website and restore it or whatever. I can understand that. I don't understand a company of this size, especially now that Microsoft has taken over, not having backups. I cannot state this enough that data integrity is the biggest priority for anybody, everybody. I work in tech. I work with databases. I have had to tell a customer that because they did something wrong and because they didn't have a backup, they have data loss. And it sucks. And I don't imagine Blizzard, having run this game for like 20 years, is in the habit of not making backups. And I'm not like a programmer by any means, but if I'm going to touch a live database, you better believe I'm going to have like a backup and then a backup of a backup and a backup of a backup of a backup. I mean, to do anything else is unthinkable, especially at this level of the game, especially at this level of data. I mean, there must be petabytes. It goes, by the way, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte. 1 petabyte is 1,000 gigabytes. No. Sorry. 1 petabyte is 1,000 terabytes, and a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes. There we go. Or thereabouts, 1,024. So yeah, like there must be petabytes of data. I understand that it's a lot of data. I understand that it could take forever to restore this data. I get it. What is wiped out in a maintenance period or two can not necessarily be reconstructed that easily. And I'm not saying that I don't empathize with that. That is a Herculean task. That is a crappy task. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But Blizzard has to do this. They have to have a backup, and they have to do what they can to make this right. Because the 2 pink mage weave shirts and whatever else I got, like, 8 items, 6 items, something like that, it's not good enough. Not even close to good enough. I want this tab to be full of my old patterns again. And I want to see restorations of those plain letters that people are missing, sent to them from people who no longer play and people who are no longer with us. These are memories. These are important memories. It's not just about the gold value for some people. For me, yes, I will admit it's part of that. I'm sure I had a haunted memento in there somewhere, but I don't remember because I didn't take meticulous inventory of my bank the way others did, and the way that perhaps we all should. You better believe that before the next patch comes out, I will be screen recording every single thing in all of my banks, my guild banks and my personal banks. So, there was no real news this week from Blizzard or from the community, except for Blizzard Watch. And again, props to Blizzard Watch for mentioning it. Please spread the word. Let's see if we can shame Blizzard into doing the right thing, because I don't think they'll do it any other way. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll try to keep you up to date.